Jeffrey is constantly overwhelmed by notifications on his phone. He's being overwhelmed by the amount of information that he's receiving. He's on YouTube, that whilst also scrolling on TikTok, and then he goes on to play video games, and his mind can't get a break. He's stuck in these unhealthy habits and doesn't know a way out, and now his brain is broken. But Adonis sees that Jeffrey has a broken brain and he understands the struggle, so he sits Jeffrey down and teaches him about dopamine. And then soon, Jeffrey starts making progress. He gets onto a dopamine detox. He stops playing video games as much. He's finally got a no-fap streak which has lasted longer than 1 hour, and he's becoming more productive. And Jeffrey slowly starts fixing his brain again. By the way, like I might have to do this every single video. I might not. Depends. But if you're looking at this right now and you think you've copied Hamza, I've got a video on my channel explaining why I use Jeffrey and Adonis. You can go and watch that if you really like are butthurt about it. I remember being 8 years old, and I've been addicted to video games for around 3 years at this time, bro. I'm a chronic video gamer. I've started playing video games at 5 years old. And on this day, I've just came back home from a parents' evening. And to be honest, bro, it isn't good, man. It isn't good. I've been in a parents' evening and it wasn't that good. And as we're walking back to the car, my parents tell me, like basically the video games are the problem. And to be honest, I agree with them. So I go home and I try to make a change. And I go cold turkey. I don't play any video games for 3 to 4 hours, but throughout that time, I didn't replace it with anything else. So I was bored, like straight up bored, literally nothing to do. And 3 hours in, I was so bored, I start crying. My brain was so broken at 8 years old that if I went 3 hours without doing anything, I would literally cry. That's mad, isn't it, bro, if you really think about it? There's some, like, my brain was so broken that I would literally cry if I went 3 hours without video games. That is a massive problem. But then fast forward a couple of years, and I'm watching Hamza and he's talking about dopamine detox. And I try it. This time it's gonna work. I'm not gonna cry because I went without video games for 3 hours. It was hard at first and I struggled, but the more progress I made in my dopamine detox, the more my life changed. And in this video, we're going to talk about dopamine detox and how it will change your life too. So, before we get into the meat of this video, I've got an actionable step for you to do. It's really simple. You literally do not have to move anywhere to do it. We're going to take a deep breath into our stomach, as far down as you can get it. If you can get it literally into your balls, amazing. But try and breathe into your stomach. We'll do it together. You can do 3. I'll do 3. You see, when you take these deep breaths, immediately you'll be able to focus more, and you're probably going to take more out of this video. So if you haven't done your deep breaths, just do them right now. Literally will take you solid 12 seconds to do them, and you'll literally learn more from this video, and probably maybe be more likely to take action because you've learned a lot more. But first, we got to talk about, like, bro, I'll be honest, I look at you like a subhuman if you are addicted to anything that is instant gratification. Honestly. Like, if I see you on TikTok, I categorize you as a subhuman immediately, bro. Like, have you ever looked at a person use TikTok? I go into school, right, and I'll be around like my group of like friends, and I'll look at them on TikTok. I'm serious. They literally don't stay on a video for more than 3 seconds. Like they probably wouldn't have even made it this far in the video. Like, honestly. But bro, if you actually look at a person use TikTok, it'll be like new video, 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. Like, literally, their brain is so fried that they can't have the patience to stay with something for 3 seconds. 3 seconds, bro. And then you see these video gamers, right? They're in class. They're meant to be doing work, and instead they're sat there thinking about, oh, okay, so the hoverboard on Fortnite, okay, so what's our game plan, guys? How many arena points have we got? We got 2,000. Oh wait, arena doesn't exist anymore, it's ranked. Okay, so I'm platinum rank. How do I get into champion? Like these guys are just losers, man. Honestly, if you have a broken brain, I'll be honest, you are not you, actually. Let me just collect myself, because you're one of the based people who actually understand dopamine, who understand dopamine detox, who is in this self-improvement space. So I'm sorry how I've been shouting almost as if it's at you. I'm not shouting at you, I'm shouting at like the broken brain people, like the idiots, bro, like the subhumans, the Jeffreys. These guys have such broken brains. And to be honest, bro, a decent amount of it isn't even their fault. We can certainly blame them a bit, because this self-improvement space is growing, and a lot of people actually know about dopamine detox, self-improvement. So we can blame this on them somewhat, but we've also got to think it's these evil companies who have hijacked your brain. They have meticulously engineered something to like make your brain just tick. They've literally got you by the balls. They literally know what is going to trigger your monkey brain and going to make you click and going to make you stay. They've engineered the death scroll to purposely trigger your brain so that you stay on the platform. These companies know what they're doing. You think these companies generate millions and just like say like, okay, let's design it into making like a new app cover? No. They know what they're doing. They invest everything for a specific purpose. If they literally change the app logo, it's for a purpose. You've got to be vigilant of what these companies are doing to your brain. Because if you are unaware and if you are not vigilant, you will get trapped. We have been trapped before by these companies, and we will not allow it to happen again. This is a community of young men who refuse to be trapped in that once again. We've got to cut out this instant gratification, and I'll explain what instant gratification is. Instant gratification is something that feels good and pleasurable right now in the short term, but in the long term, it has devilish consequences. Delayed gratification is the opposite, and this is our escape. This is how we'll dig out of our mental prison and fix our broken brains. We must get onto a dopamine detox. Delayed gratification are things that don't feel pleasurable right now, but in the long run, they make our lives so much better. And to be honest, bro, once you delay gratification enough, the first part of what I just said, where it doesn't feel that good in the short term, honestly, it does. It does feel good. I like delaying gratification now. I like recording these videos. I like journaling. I like reading. Obviously, like, it's on my phone because I've got a Kindle, but you get the idea. I like exercising. I like to stretch. These things become your video game once you do them enough, but you must go through this valley of despair where you're quitting the instant gratification and you just wish you could do it again. But if you stay with delaying gratification long enough, I promise your life will change. Delayed gratification is our escape. We need to make sure that we're doing things which benefit our future selves. Things that don't necessarily give us a huge spike in dopamine. Because I gotta teach you quickly about dopamine and dopamine baselines. Basically, when you do instant gratification, you get a huge spike of dopamine, right, which goes way above its baseline. Actually, I'll get a whiteboard to explain it. Because don't you just love having a whiteboard? Sorry, I was just checking how long we've been rolling. I'll explain this quick and then I'll let you go. So imagine this is the baseline for dopamine. When you do instant gratification, this is what happens, right? It goes way above the baseline. It's just crazy how high it goes above the baseline. But then what happens is that it goes under after you finish the instant gratification. But then the baseline goes lower. And the more you do it, the lower it'll go. And this dopamine baseline determines how happy you are and how motivated you are. Delayed gratification will do the opposite, so I was going to flip it upside down, I'll be honest, but I can't do that now. I'll just rub it out. Basically, delayed gratification is where, if you can, like, picture in your head the dopamine baseline, at first, it may, I'm not sure if you can see that, it'll go below the baseline, but then afterwards, it'll actually go above the baseline and create a new baseline above it. And if I told you right now that the baseline determines how motivated you are to do something and how happy you are, then our goal should be to increase our dopamine baseline. So, delay more gratification. Because when you get used to delaying gratification, that will be, your brain will start to realize that this is the main source of dopamine. So, you'll eventually become more motivated to do delayed gratification. That is why I actually like journaling, working, reading, exercising, stretching, whatever. It's because I've done it for meditating, I've done it for so long that now it's almost like it's my main source of dopamine. So now I feel motivated to do the hard work. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not perfect. I'm not here saying I'm not addicted to anything. I'll be honest, bro, I watch a lot of YouTube. Even when it's like, sometimes it's good videos, sometimes it's useless. I'll be honest, yesterday, I stayed up way past my bedtime because I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender clips. And we mustn't dwell on the past, we must look towards the future. And I'll try to make a change. That was such a modern day philosopher right here. 16-year-old modern day philosopher. Can't compete with some guy like me, bro. So I'm too articulate for you. Anyway. These bad habits, this instant gratification, I'll be honest, it is kind of hard to quit. And I would understand if you have a bit of fear with quitting these, because it will be difficult and it feels unknown to you whether like this will genuinely make you happy or not, but I promise you it does. No long-term benefits will come from instant gratification, I promise you. As a guy who used to be addicted to video games and was solid 10 years of playing video games, nothing good came out of it. But I'll be honest, there is one secret way which you will be able to drastically reduce your instant gratification intake. in the next 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, which will genuinely change your life. And that is by improving your mental health, which is also a form of delayed gratification. So I'll just give you 2 ways. I've got a video on my channel explaining it, I think, but I'll just go over it quick. First thing is you're going to meditate. Now, meditation is pretty straightforward. You know how we did that deep breath earlier in the video? Pretty much just do that. And when you see your mind wandering and notice that, just focus back on the breath and it should be good. So, you know what, whilst we have the whiteboard, I'll just do it quick. So, like, focus. I'm not going to do the whole thing. There's a whole, like, diagram. Wonder. Notice. What the hell happened there? Well, it's a lot easier. I mean, there's a better diagram, but it's like you gain focus. You're focused on the breath. Your mind wanders. That's spelled like something else, but and then you notice that your mind wanders and you bring it back to the focus. That is pretty much meditation in its simplest form. You just do that for however long you want to. If you never meditated before, you can start with 1 minute. If you've meditated every now and then, you can start with 3 minutes. Just whatever feels comfortable, and over time you can increase it. The second thing is to gratitude journal, which is basically every day you sit down and you write on something. I am grateful for this thing because right. I am grateful for my mum cooking food because it means I can, I don't know, watch Alfie videos. Like you know what I mean? You just do that every day. Do those 2 things every day, and within 2 weeks, your mental health will drastically improve. And then you'll be able to sustain a dopamine detox for the longest amount of time, a long amount of time, and that is when your life will change. Fix your brain by getting onto a dopamine detox and improving your mental health, and I'll see you later.